Kindly resend Mr. Peter. I can't find it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it. Thank you.
It's time.
Yes, Tommy,
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. And you're all welcome to this webinar hosted by the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation in collaboration with Wistreled Consulting Services. RDSF was established in 2009 by the founders, Rear Admiral Kehinde and Mrs. Bimbo Komolafe. The foundation is managed by a board of trustees made up of 9 people, distinguished and well-accomplished personalities under the chairmanship of Sir Oladende Olusoga Joseph, Rear Admiral, CON MNI. All trustees are people of integrity, all working together with one purpose, which is to provide economic empowerment to the less privileged. They achieve this by offering scholarships to indigent students, mentoring young people, and providing opportunities for skills acquisition. RDSF has previously hosted face-to-face workshops to provide mentoring and skills acquisition. The first workshop was held in Lagos in 2015 and was organized by a reputable HR company called The Workplace. This was attended by 13 people. In 2006, in 2016, RDSF organized a session for 55 students in Ekiti State. And in 2019, we had 2 sessions in Uniben, 88 students, and in Futo, 60 students. In May 2020, 176 people attended the first virtual webinar titled Personal Innovation, Creating a Sense of Urgency. This is the second virtual webinar as a follow-up to these workshops. So today's program is going to be about 1 hour, and we would like to ask everyone to please mute their mics and ensure that it is muted throughout the webinar. Thank you. So now to today's webinar. The economic climate of Nigeria today is quite unpredictable, and the job market is saturated. The youth and young adults would need to gravitate towards entrepreneurship, not only to survive or become financially independent, but also to boost the nation's economy. In order to start one's business with the right structure in place and to attract potential investors, a business proposal, which later becomes a business plan, is essential. This webinar has been organized to help us with writing a good business proposal. Our facilitator today has a vast wealth of experience and would share some of his knowledge with us. Mr. Peter Olowu is the managing partner and lead consultant at Wistreled Consulting Services. He's a certified management consultant, a chartered accountant, and a certified project manager. He is also a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants of Nigeria. He's a seasoned trainer and a member of several professional bodies, including the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA UK. He is a career, business and life coach, a motivational speaker, a columnist, a visionary entrepreneur, a nation builder. He has also organized and facilitated extensively in different open and in-house corporate trainings. He has designed business and financial models and processes, innovative projects and procurement solutions and supply chain strategies. Mr. Olowu provides lead advisory and support services to different corporate organizations, including MSMEs, NGOs, and individuals. I believe information shared during this webinar would be very useful to each and every one of us who have either started a business or about to start one, or are still thinking about starting one. I will quickly mention that 15 individuals today stand a chance to join the Wistreled Business Academy free of charge and get the opportunity to have Mr. Peter Olowu mentor them through the process of starting their business or through essential business processes that need to be in place for already existing businesses. 2 of those 15 individuals also stand a chance to get a 100,000 Naira grant each from RDSF to help kickstart their businesses or scale up as the case may be. More details will be shared on how to apply for these opportunities as we go along in the course of the webinar. And without taking too much of our time, please join me in welcoming Mr. Olowu. Mr. Olowu, please, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Tommy, for such a brilliant intro. And also, I'd like to quickly appreciate Rehoboth, the entire trustees, the staff and members of Rehoboth Solid Dream Foundation for this wonderful opportunity, for putting this up at this right time. I trust everyone is keeping safe. I'd like to welcome our participants as well, and also those who are joining us via Facebook and other social media platforms. I'm Peter Olowu. I'll be anchoring today's workshop on how to write a good business proposal. Okay, I have a slide here to share so that we can make this fast because we have a major constraint, which is time. So I'd like to share my presentation.
Mr. Olowu, can you try sharing your screen? I'll give you permission to share your screen. If you can't share, okay, let me know. Start sharing, please.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the permission so I can share. All right, while we wait for that, and we are aware of what is happening in the world right now as regards the pandemic. The coronavirus has crippled a whole lot of activities, if not all, and Nigeria is not an exception.
Can you share? Can you try sharing now?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, man. 10 seconds. It's still disabled. It's still disabled. I can't share from my end here.
I'm going to have to share your older version, please. You can talk from the version you have, but I will share this version so that we'll save time.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, you can even open the new one. Since you have it, you have the new one, so you can just so that we can open from your side, from your hand there. Right. Okay, all right. While we wait for that, I'll start with a quote. There's a quote that says, "Keep learning new things. It's not always easy or fun, but it will keep you sharp." Now, as you can see that there's a paradigm shift or there is a distortion in the entire world economy at the moment. Since the beginning of the year, some countries have been experiencing it since the last quarter of last year, like China and the rest. But here in this part of the world, in Nigeria precisely, the lockdown began precisely in March, and the entire economy went into comatose. That even the economists and the entire finance professionals cannot even predict what would happen the next minute. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of business went into oblivion. A lot of entrepreneurs and investors lost funds and all that. So, and we are where we are today because what happened or what has happened, that the pandemic precisely, is beyond what anybody or any nation or any leader can single-handedly control or influence. And we will have observed that there is an exodus of people from the paid employment, from the paid employment sector into entrepreneurship or into self-employment due to the fact that they lost their jobs during the lockdown, and even the pandemic is still going on. So now they found themselves in a new space entirely, which they know nothing or little about. And a lot of people have been asking me that, "Sir, where do we even start? I've never even written a proposal before in my life. All my life I've been working in the bank. I've been a career person. I've never run my own personal business. How do I even come up with a business card?" And at times I just nod my head like, wow, this is where the pandemic has brought us. Okay, I'll start with the golden rule. A proposal is not an isolated event, but a critical part of a larger process. As such, the proposal does not introduce the solution, but confirms what has already been offered to the customer unofficially validated and now must be formally defined to be accepted. But before we get into proposal writing proper, you will agree with me that for you to say you want to even know about how to write the proposal, I expect you, let me say, the larger percentage of the participants online here should be either business owners, self-employed people, entrepreneurs or investors, or prospective business owners. Fine, you might have your own 8-to-5 job, but yet you are still looking how to metamorphose into having your own personal business and all that. So definitely, it's either you are here to either enhance your skill or you are learning this as a new skill entirely, whereby you have never had the opportunity to even attend a training or a workshop on how to write a business proposal because you are just entering into your business or you're just about to launch out. And that's why you are here today. So irrespective of the category whereby you fall, I believe at the end of this workshop, you really appreciate that that we took our time to be part of this. Okay, all right. And I go to the next.
We can't hear you anymore, Mr. Olowu. We can't hear you anymore. Edison, can you please call him and let him know we can't hear him anymore?
I can, yes, I can. Hello, I'm waving. Right. Hello, Edison, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay,
we can hear you now.
That's fine. Okay. Can we take the intro, please? There's a slide. Let's go back to the intro. The intro. In today's highly competitive environment, this intro summarizes what Tommy said earlier, what Tommy last said. In today's highly competitive environment, business proposals are too important to be left to chance. The opportunity costs are too great to risk, right? Creating and submitting the kind of uninspiring, lackluster, and non-responsive proposals are often, they are everywhere in the marketplace right now. So which means what we are trying to say that business proposal is very important at the moment right now, that the opportunity cost is huge. Now, if you can hear me, please just wave. Edison, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yes, okay, thank you. So how does a company constantly win more business than its rival? This is a very critical question. Now, as an organization, as an entrepreneur, as a prospective business person, how do you think you can constantly win business than your rivals? Now, a key factor is the ability to create proposals that outshine from even the strongest competitors. Don't forget, you are not the only one in the industry. You have other competitors too. You have others as well who are bidding for the same job or for the same project or for the same contract, just like you. All right. So, so let's go to the module 1 now. We can go to the first module. We can go to the first module now. The next slide, because I'm not controlling the slides from my end here. So now, this workshop will take you through each step of the business proposal writing process, from understanding why you are writing a proposal, to gathering information, to writing and proofreading, to the final professional product. Now, I told you something at the beginning of this workshop. I said that proposal writing itself, it's at the tail end of the process, Before you can embark on the journey of writing a business proposal, one, you must be aware of an information out there from either a company, the government, or an individual, right? Raising an RFP, right? Request for proposal or request for quotation, RFQ or RFP, as the case may be. Then you must have digested the information before you can ask, okay, let me also apply for this job. let me also apply for this project, let me also apply for this this contract. So it's always at the tail end. It comes after you have digested your information, after you have done the thorough research, before you can now say, okay, let me embark on business proposal writing. That's why I highlighted the steps here. That's gathering of information, proofreading, and creating the final professional product. Let's go look at the workshop objectives. Basics of a winning proposal, business proposal. One, business proposal outline, very, very important. We are going to outline the steps of having a winning business proposal. Then appropriate resources that should be used in proposal writing. The next slide. Okay. Now, before I go to the next slide, please, let me just quickly just expatiate on this. Now, the first thing here, back to the module 1, please. You must identify the purpose of a proposal. I'm trying to expatiate on the workshop, on the objective of the workshop. You must identify the purpose of the proposal. You must identify and perform the steps in the business proposal writing process. You must perform a need analysis and write a goal statement. Don't worry, my subsequent slides will expatiate more on this. Let's go to module 2. Module 2, understanding business proposal. Understanding business proposal. To be very honest with you, the term proposal is ambiguous. It's very, very ambiguous. So, but for the sake of this webinar, we are tailoring everything down here to business proposal alone. Now, what do we mean by proposal? When we say business proposals, okay, I'm submitting the proposal, I want to write a proposal. What do we actually mean by proposal? Some of us probably are doing our MBA thesis, MSc, PhD, or even our undergraduate thesis and all that. Probably we wrote a proposal before we embarked on the main project and all that. But that's more like your academic proposal. But here we are talking about business proposal. Now, proposals are a very unique type of business document. And here we will explore the proposal writing process as well as the most common types of business proposals. Please note, we only provide an overview of the 4 major types. There are variations of these types as well, and there are more specialized categories. Like I said, we are concentrating on business proposal writing, right? There are other forms too. So I'm going to expatiate on even the forms or the types of business proposal. Even when we even say business proposal, it is quite broad on its own, but there are still some components that it has that at the end of this webinar, you will have a perfect understanding of what business proposal entail and the other subcomponent of a business proposal. What is a business proposal? Now, in basic economics, we are being taught that the aim of an entrepreneur is to make profit. The aim of a company is to maximize wealth or to maximize profit. That's fine. But don't let us forget that we also have some organizations that are not profit-oriented, that are not profit-driven. For example, NGOs, a very good example is Rehoboth, right? It's not a company where they sell goods and all that, but there are certain services that they render to people, but they are not profit inclined. But at the end of this slide, you will agree with me that irrespective of the kind of organization that you run, be it a profit-oriented organization or an NGO, you are getting that everybody still fits into this slide. Now, what is a business proposal? Basically, I'm going to define my definition using these 3 concepts. Number 1, sales pitch. Outlines a problem and present a solution. Now, every business proposal has a sales pitch, right? Every business proposal has a sales pitch, and every business proposal outlines a problem, and every business proposal presents a solution. Now, you might say that, okay, what do I mean by sales pitch? What of NGOs that are not profit-driven, that are not profit-oriented? Now, even if an NGO is not profit-driven or profit-oriented, you will agree with me that before an NGO can influence or can bring somebody to come and sit on their board as a trustee, they must pitch their vision or their mission or their goal to such a prospective trustee before such person can believe in their vision and mission, and the person can now come on board as a trustee or as a philanthropist or as a sponsor, depending on the category. Now, what have they successfully done? They have successfully done sales pitching. That means what they are selling is the philanthropical acts that they are giving to the public that they are giving to the less privileged or they are giving to the masses. So we can say that sales pitch covers both either commercial businesses and NGOs, at least organizations that are not profit driven. Then obviously, if you are proposing anything, you must be able to outline a problem, because you cannot tell me a solution without first enlightening me on the problem that is on ground first. So irrespective of the company that we are trying to talk about here, commercial or NGO, definitely there must be a problem that is being outlined. Even an NGO will tell that, okay, the reason why we are forming, or the reason why we formed this organization is to take care of the welfare of the less privileged who cannot do this and that and all that. So that is a problem. Then in their proposal to the state, their solution, and that's why they want their support from you and all of that. So a business proposal is primarily a sales pitch for a product or service that your business offers, your business or your company offers, or even yourself as an individual that you offer. It outlines a problem or opportunity that the client has and present a product or solution or service as a solution. Don't forget, there must be problem identification, very, very important, and there must be, it must prefer what solution. That's why we wrap it up by calling it a sales what pitch. Now, proposals can be directed externally, that is to another organization. Let's say, for example, company A directing their proposal to company B, or internally, for example, to senior management. Yes, you can have a proposal from the procurement department to the board of directors. You can have a proposal from the HR department to the board of directors. That's an internal proposal. Then, and also, but in this course, we are going to focus on the external proposals. But the principles can be applied to internal proposals. So irrespective of the one that you are looking at, either internal proposal or external proposal, we still have the same principles. So, but proposals can be solicited or unsolicited, which means when I say solicited is that a company asking a particular client to submit its proposal for a particular job, for a particular supply, for a particular procurement or contract or project or what have you. That is the solicited one, the solicited one, whereby the prospective client is asking you directly to submit a copy of your proposal. Then the unsolicited one is the one that probably you just see on the media, either on the mainstream media or the social media, blah, 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 that, okay, that there is a need in the Nigerian military. They want to purchase some helicopters. So if you think you are capable to supply, just send us your proposal. So in that case, that's an open one. It is an unsolicited one. Anybody can apply for that. So, what's it called? The solicited proposals are written in response to a request for proposal. There's something called RFP. Probably as we go on in this webinar, I'll be explaining some terminologies. I've explained to you RFP means request for proposal. There's another one, RFQ, request for quotation. The next slide, please. So, all right, now let's quickly look at this. The proposal, the make or break move. It's very important for us to take us through this process so that we can understand where we are going. The make or break move. Now, business proposals are the critical end game in a long process of business development. When they are executed with skill and finesse, they can bias customers towards you and act as the icing on the cake. Now, don't forget, I told you that at the beginning of this webinar, I said business proposal itself is at the tail end of a process. Now, if you come in touch with my company, for example, and before we will ask you to submit a proposal, I want to believe that we must have had a meeting, we must have communicated some ideas with you, we must have done our need analysis together and all that. Now, when we are going back and forth, having these relationships, you will agree with me that we have been cultivating a relationship. Then at the tail end, we request or we require you to submit a proposal. Now, let's go on. If you have successfully conducted your opening and middle games, that is, if you have positioned yourself well with the customer or client, if you have built trust-based relationships and pre-sold your company or business and solution, when proposals are not well executed, well, they can soil the customer's view of you, cause them to question their decision to award you the contract, if they have been inclined to do so, and cost you the opportunity if the competition was closed and one of your rivals submitted a superior proposal. What are we saying? Even if you have cultivated a good relationship with this prospective client or with this prospective customer, right? The proposal which you are submitting at the tail end of the entire process still has a whole lot of weight, right, in in influencing the decision that this prospective client will make. So don't just throw caution to the wind and say, okay, my uncle is the MD of that company, my auntie is the MD, let me just wrap up and submit whatever I like. No, fine, relationship is good, it has a role to play. At the same time, you as well in your proposal, tidy up your work, do the thorough research, do the necessary thing that you're supposed to do. Whatever is worth doing well, just like what I said at the beginning of this webinar. Do whatever you are supposed to do, then submit your proposal. Don't just over-focus on the relationship you have. Can we go on? Okay. Now, let's look at the proposal writing process. The proposal writing process. Now, that's the next slide. The proposal writing process. Now, business proposal writing process has 7 major steps. It has 7 major steps. The writing and editing process is often repeated several times. So we are going to walk through the entire process during this workshop. It has key 7 process. But I'll beg of you, please, in the course of this webinar, I'm going to give you like a model, right, for a good business proposal. But it does not mean that you should just cram it. Just understand what we are discussing here, and you can use the model as a guide or as a template. Then by the time you go back to your desk, you can try and practicalize a few things. All right. Okay, let's look at this. The next slide. Let's look at the proposal writing process. Now you can see the first box that we are having there is need analysis. No, I said it at the beginning of the webinar. For you to have a very good business proposal, there must be need analysis. Not your own need now. I'm talking about your client, your prospective client or your customer, that's the company or the organization or the individual who needs your service or who is getting the proposal from you. This analysis, then to the goal statement, to the outline, then the research, first draft, edit, and polish. Now, between research and polish, a whole lot of work is done within that space. Because for you to gather information, you must research, go online, get in touch with people before you can put your information together, especially when you get to the commercial aspect of the proposal, especially for proposals that have to do with procurement, where you have to get prices and all of that. You come up with drafts. In fact, you can come up with several drafts. That comes up during the edit, in the edit space. Then you can see yourself keep editing and all that before you come to the to the conclusion. All right. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay. Now, types of business proposal, very important. We have the technical proposal, we have costs, sales, and professional service. So we have all this. Now, how this form the business proposal? A technical proposal is a business proposal. Absolutely, yes. A sales proposal is a business proposal. In fact, it is the most popular one. The general proposal, the general proposal that people submit is called the sales proposal. It's also a component of business proposal. Then we have the cost proposal. Then we have the professional proposal. So these are all forms of business proposal. My next slide will expatiate more on this. Let's take the first one. That's the technical proposal. For a technical proposal, it's very important for us to understand this because a lot of us might have been mixing things up. So very important. Now, as the name implies, technical. So it means this requires some level of professionalism or high level of professionalism. It's not just a proposal that you just sit down in your office and just go to the internet and download some information. No, you have to understand the rubrics of what the client entails or require or demand from you. So it's a kind of proposal that defines the technical requirements for a project, and it entails the approach and the complete plan, including time, cost, and resources. This is very, very important. Like, for example, now, like in building, before you maybe want to build an estate or you want to build like a 5-bedroom duplex, definitely you are going to require a technical proposal from your engineer, your architect, or your contractor, or wherever you want to give the project to. And so this is not a proposal whereby people just sit down and gather information. No, they come up with their BOQ, quantity, cost, and all of that, the material costs, and all of this together. Because for technical proposal, those who are going to review in the company at the back end are also technical people, right? So if an oil and gas company, for example, requires you to submit a proposal, have it at the back of your mind that part of those that will sit at the panel to review that proposal, which there will surely be engineers, petroleum and gas engineers, chemical engineers, the accountants, the procurement experts, and all that will review it together, not just a one-man show. So, okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is sales proposal. I just have to be faster because of time. Sales proposals are usually written to convince a new client to purchase a product or service. It is done by building a case for why the client needs that particular product or service. This is like the most common proposal that people submit. Whereby most times, most unsolicited proposals are sales proposals, whereby the company is not even asking you to submit. You know, maybe you are into a particular business or you are an MSME, you just started, you just launched out and you have a product there and you are just trying to, package your proposal. So either the company asks you to submit a proposal or not, you just want to go and drop your proposal. So this is generally sales proposal, which a lot of MSME, people in that space, in the MSME space, for them. In fact, the honest truth is that like 95% of people in the MSME space submit sales proposals. You actually see big companies do this. Big companies often do the technical proposal and professional proposal and all of that. But for self-employed and MSMEs, that's micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises, they do more of the sales proposal. They make sure that their proposal focus on what the solution can do for the customer, rather than the nuts and bolts of the proposal. At times, sales proposals are not always well detailed. It just gives a summary of what the product can offer the prospective client and all that. The next one is the cost proposal, which is an outline of estimated costs. It is usually prepared by a contractor to prepare for project negotiations. Cost proposal is quite similar to technical proposal because it involves a lot of technicalities, and it has a detailed breakdown of all foreseeable costs, including material, resources, labor, equipment, travel, and administrative expenses, etc. For those in the project management space, those in the engineering, architecture, and all of that, and other projects, and what have you, they do more of cost proposal. But the beautiful thing about today's webinar is that irrespective of the proposal that you specialize in, either you're in the space of the MSME or you are a big company or whatever, everything, like I said, everything still falls under business proposal. They are all business proposals, and these are just the sub-components. And at times, you can have a proposal that entails the four together. The last one is the professional service proposal, which is a type of sales proposal that focuses on professional service offerings such as public relations, marketing, healthcare, management consultant, and co. So basically, people like this do professional service proposal because of the focus on their service. And the following elements are usually included, like now, list of people who will be providing the service and their credentials. For example, now, like one of the industries which I know very well, human capacity building, that's training, whereby when we are submitting the professional service proposal to clients, you might have to include the trainers, right, the facilitators, and their credentials, their qualifications. You state it there, their experience and all of that, their resume or their CV. You include it in a professional service proposal. Then the organizational record of service, testimonials and references, and that maybe the companies or the organizations whereby you have run one or two trainings for. So most times you see people in the management consultancy space and other professions that are listed, even including the healthcare. What they specialize on more is what they always submit is the professional service proposal. It's also a form of business proposal in its class. Okay, I talked about RFP, request for proposal. Now, oftentimes RFP comes from the client itself. It entails organizational background, the requested product or service, the solution details and timeline. These are going to waste more time here. Module 3, beginning the proposal writing process. Let's go to the third module. Now, there is a quote there. I'm at beginning the proposal writing process. There's a quote by Frederick Durham that says, the writer doesn't solve problems. He allows them to emerge. Now, for those who can see the slides, I guess you can see this quote. The writer does not solve problems. He allows them to emerge. What are you trying to say? Proposal itself does not solve the problem. The document is not a magic wand, but it is a document or a compilation that lists out the solutions that have been preferred by the contractor or whoever is executing the job. So to write a convincing proposal, you must get started on the right foot. This module will look at how to determine the purpose of proposal and gather background information. All right. Okay. Next slide. Identifying your purpose and your audience. This is very, very important for you to have a good business proposal. Oftentimes, when I mentor people, they just want a formula and say, Mr. Peter, can you just give me a format of how to write a business proposal? It's not about the format. It's about you understanding what you are writing. Because by the time you are going for meetings and all that, I will not be there. So if you have a perfect understanding how this process works, you will not really be looking for a particular format or model. The format will flow itself based on your understanding of the whole webinar. Now, what exactly will the proposal do? Now, we are talking about identifying the purpose of your audience. Now, 2, identify who the audience will be. A lot of people submit proposals without knowing exactly what the proposal will do. They just know, okay, there's a company that is saying that people should apply. Okay, they are looking for those that will supply them toiletries. They take their pen and paper and start writing. They don't even know what they're writing. And also identify who the audience will be. Now, the next slide, your proposal should have a single goal. I'm still expatiating on identifying who the audience will be and all that. I'm using this slide to expatiate. Your proposal should have a single goal in mind. What exactly will the business proposal do? Some examples include 1, convince a customer to buy your product. So ask yourself, am I convincing the customer to buy my product? Now, this is what I want the proposal to do. I want it to convince the customer to buy my product. Another thing could be, I want the proposal to convince a customer to hire me as a manager, as the person to manage his or her project. So you must know the end vision of your proposal. What do you want it to do? What do you intend to achieve with what is the how do I put it now? The main reason you are submitting your proposal to that company. Outline the new planning services that your company provides. Then identify who the audience will be. Some examples could be, okay, Rehoboth Nigeria Limited. Okay, that's an example. The business team are working for party. Okay, these are the audience. These are those that will review the the proposal. There are some proposals that they will ask you to address to a particular unit or department in an organization. That's why I said an example is the business team at Workplace Property. Note, when you write your outline later on, you may want to make a note of sections that have a different audience, such the executive summary and all that. So it's very important for you to know who is reviewing my business proposal at the other end. Is it the company as a whole, or is it what is it called now? Is it a particular organization department? All right. Now the next slide: performing a needs analysis. This is very, very critical. Performing a needs analysis. Now, what does it need analysis entail? The first thing is, who are the customers of the proposal? What do they want or need? What do they currently have as a solution? What can we offer? Now, that would be as an organization now, what can we offer? It's quite important that a lot of people in the MSME space, a lot of entrepreneurs or business owners do not run needs analysis. They just jump and just try and package 1 or 2 things and submit. It doesn't go that way. You must understand the customers or the clients of your proposal. You must know what they need or what they want, and you must also have a current solution and also what you can offer as well. Okay, the next slide, so that we can use this to expatiate. Okay, now let's the goal statement. Writing a goal statement. Now, identify the type of proposal. We have talked about that, the technical and all of that. And the purpose of your proposal. Like, I'm not going to say much about it. This is what I've already explained using type, the types of proposal. Let's go to the next slide. Now, the module 4, preparing an outline. This is very important, preparing an outline. How do you prepare an outline? The preparation process that we outline in this module may seem detailed and comprehensive. Yeah, because I have some detailed and comprehensive slides. Why is that? The more detailed and accurate your outline is, the more cohesive and persuasive your proposal will be. The truth is this: if you are writing a proposal, have it at the back of your mind that there is a component of proposal writing that is called research. You must undertake a research. Don't be scared, not the academic research that we have in the university, as in you must make some research, especially when you get to the commercial part of it, whereby you want to know the prices, you want to know the quantity, especially for those who are in the technical space or in the cost space or the professional space. You must do a thorough research. All right. The next slide. Now let's look at a general format. A general format of a business proposal. We have the cover page. That's very obvious. The cover page, the title page, the table of contents, and executive summary. Very important. I'm going to lay more emphasis on the executive summary, and the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. All right. Okay. So the special sections we might have. For the special sections, we might have benefit summary, marketing plan, then the glossary of jargons. Now, the glossary of jargons here is for people in the technical space, whereby you might, for example, now, you are going to think that a builder is a technical person, a civil engineer is a technical person. When you require a proposal from people in that space, expect them to come up with some professional jargons, right? Some professional jargons in the sense that the terms which you may not really understand, or which you as a layman may not understand at all. You might need another technical person to partner with you to be able to simplify that proposal for you. And oftentimes, when we are talking about the technical business proposal or the professional business proposal, the writers of the proposal too, we have to make our time to expatiate what they mean by certain terminologies, so that whoever at the other hand is making the proposal, if it was to be a layman, for example, we understand what they mean here, or probably those in the technical department can help them to explain. Let me give you an example. I've met some MDs, some CEOs and MDs that are not technical people, or they are not professionals in their line of business. For example, let's say an oil and gas company. The MD of an oil and gas company might not necessarily be an engineer, may not necessarily be a petroleum and gas engineer or a chemical engineer. So if such person wants to review a proposal, he definitely needs a team to help him to review, a team that will consist or comprise engineers, definitely, procurement experts, people from the finance department, so that all these people will come together and help him to explain some and communicate some jargons, some professional jargons to him. That's what I mean by the glossary of jargons. Next slide now. I'm still coming back to expatiate on their subject. Okay, creating a framework, build a body, outline major points, then the guideline. My next slide will explain more on this. Now, next slide. Once the standard components and any special sections are outlined, it is time to build the body of your proposal. Don't forget, at the beginning of this webinar, I told you that the writing itself, that is the writing part of the proposal itself, is at the tail end. Before you start, before you can say you have a complete proposal, a thorough research has been done, need analysis has been done, some processes must have been followed. So the writing itself is what comes last. So once the standard components and special sections are outlined, it is time to build the body of your proposal. To start, outline the major points that a proposal will contain. And what are these major points? The first is the cover letter. That's very obvious. I believe everybody knows what I mean by the cover letter. The cover letter must be for those, if you have a business, if you have incorporated a business, either a business name or limited liability company or an NGO, your cover letter must be on your letterhead, right? It must be on your letterhead. Then you have your title page. Then the title page, you definitely include the prospective client that you are sending it to, and your own and the name of your own company as well. That's the title page. Then proprietary notice, table of content. I'm going to expand on all this. The table of content, the executive summary. Now, you can use this as a template, as a guide to follow your business proposal writing. But like I said, the most important thing is to understand the reason why you are following this template and the reason why you are writing what you are writing, not just to pick a template and just follow suit. Okay, let's go to the next slide to complete this. Then number 6, we have the introduction. Then I gave an example here. After the introduction, then maybe history of helicopters in Africa. Now, this is like a company that is submitting a proposal to Nigerian military, either to Nigerian Navy or Nigerian Army, because they want to supply the Nigerian Air Force or Army or our military some helicopters. So they are writing proposals. So I just use this as an example, so to make it look practical. So after the introduction, now this company is coming with, okay, the history of helicopters in Africa, that is giving their clients a background of helicopters in Africa, then also giving their prospective clients, that's the Nigerian military, local history of helicopters, that's in Nigeria. Then coming to helicopters today, now the Nigerian military says that they are in need of let's say 10 Jet King H-170s submit a proposal as regards this. So you're trying to also give them a background. So we can say all this history of helicopter and all that, they form part of the background of your proposal. Then an overview of the Jet King H-170s. Now this is the product itself. Now for your own business, if you're in the MSME space, it could be an overview of, let's say you are doing soap making, you're into soap making, or you bake, you're into confectionery. Maybe you can give us an overview of your bread, of your cake, of your biscuit or sweet or what have you. That means probably want to tell us why we should buy your own cake or your own confectionery and all that. So that this company is trying to convince the Nigerian military why they should buy this particular what's it called, the helicopter. That's why they are giving an overview of this particular brand of helicopter. Then summary and conclusions, they have the bibliography, which is more of like where you analyze, where you have the references and also expatiate on some technical terms. Now, remember this as a guideline, very important. Please remember this in this webinar, that you can move sections around and add additional points as you perform your research and write proposal. Oftentimes, let me tell you a secret. Oftentimes, it might be the last point of your proposal that will first come to you, right? So just that. That's why I said when I was trying to expatiate on this on the stage of edits. When you are editing, right? You have a whole lot of things. You have a lot of back and forth, to do. Whereby you come back to do this, right? Just like the filmmakers. If you know any cinematographer or film director, they'll tell you that at times or most times it is the last thing that they shoot first before they shoot the intro and all of that. So it happens to proposal whereby when you're starting, let's say for example that this company that is producing these helicopters might not even really have much ideas about the history of helicopters in Africa, but they are so convinced about the particular make of their helicopter, right, in which they are producing in Nigeria. Now, after they have done this overview, they can now start go to Google, go online to make more researches about the evolution of helicopters in the world, evolution of helicopters in Africa, who are those that started using military helicopters in the world, in Africa, and all of that. How did ECOWAS or ECOMOG in those days, how did they win the war in Liberia? So what I'm trying to say is that you might have a lot of back and forth to go. So while you're editing, before the conclusion, before you put your comprehensive proposal together, you might have your points scattered, but never mind, don't feel discouraged. It's part of the process. Now, getting down to details, supporting points number 1, then we have the subcategories, then we have at least 2 sub-points per heading. All right, my next slide will explain more on this. Now, once you have your main point, next slide, once you have your main point outlined, add the supporting or sub-point beneath each heading. As we mentioned earlier, we recommend that at least 2 sub-points. That means at the maximum of 9 per heading. If you can't find 2 sub-points, you will want to combine that major heading with another. What I'm trying to say is that learn how to have sub-points. Like now, in the case of the company that is writing a proposal to Nigerian military as regards supply of helicopters, right? They, under the overview of the helicopter, you will agree with me that they will have some sub-points like probably the benefits of that particular helicopter to the Nigeria topography. You know, maybe there's some helicopters that the military can use in the regions, in the Arctic region, right? Compared to like as against the sub-Sahara. So they can have those, okay, these are the benefits of this particular helicopter in West Africa. Then the next one, they can also introduce other products that they have. But that's another brilliant thing, whereby when you are writing your proposal, or when you are putting your proposals together, I do this a lot. Even if you are submitting a proposal as regards a particular service or a product or what have you, also be so smart, whereby you can try and take advantage of an opportunity to introduce other products too, even if the client has not requested for that product. Just try and slot in something as regards to that product that you have. You never can tell. Oftentimes, it might not be that proposal or that product rather, or that service that you are proposed to offer or to sell to a client that the client might eventually buy from you. It might be another product entirely. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Now, we have a more elaborate format or model here. For those who get the slides, you will see all this. Now, like I said, the first one, the cover letter, the title page, the proprietary notice, the table of contents, and the executive summary, the introduction, the history of helicopters, and helicopters today, the search and rescue functions, now trying to convince us about the functions that their helicopters might have to the military. Then the military operations, the training functions, that means they can even afford to train, right? Like I told you at the beginning of this webinar, that every proposal must have solutions that it is profiling. If your business proposal does not carry solutions, then nobody is ready to waste his or her time to go through your proposal. Everybody is interested in solution. Let me tell you something. The only value that a business proposal, right, communicates to the prospective client or to the prospective customer is the solution that you are profiling. If you are going to take anything away from this webinar, this is what you have to take back home, that it is the solution that a proposal is profiling to the prospective client or to the prospective customer. That is the main value. Once you take away the solution that you're providing, then, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think there's a need for any proposal, right? Then we have the summary and conclusions, then the bibliography. I've explained this. Now let's go to module 5, finding facts. Finding facts. Now that we have an outline built, now it's time to find facts to support.
Sorry, Mr. Olowu. Hello, Mr. Olowu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation and for your efforts and all you've been sharing with us. Just a process check here. You're on module 5, and we're running out of time, and I think you have almost doubled those modules. So maybe you want to prioritize what you want to spend more time on, because we have about 16 questions already. So we need, we'll have to stretch it with about 30 more minutes, but I think if you go at the same pace, you may not even get to the bottom of the modules, neither will you be able to take the questions. So I think you just have to push everything into the remaining 30 minutes.
Okay, thanks so much. I think we are moving towards it. We've got like 60% of the workshop. All right. Now, I was talking about the module 5 that we will look at what sources you can use and how to organize your information. Now, this is very, very vital. What are those sources that are available for you to gather your information? Now, identifying the sources, observing and interviewing, very important. Now, when you have an opportunity to submit a proposal, it's very important for you to observe. I'm on the next slide. Observe and interview. What do I mean by observe? Is you might have to have a meeting, hold a meeting with the client, observe the client, and also interview the client. When you interview the client, that is for solicited proposals and for business owners who might be opportune to meet probably the MD of the other company or the company or the person who will need their proposal. Be so smart enough to interview the person so that you can extract enough information from him or her, so that by the time you get back to your office or to your working desk, you can put all these things together as well. Now, employees, yeah, very good. At times, you might not have the privilege to to really speak with the business owner for long. But if you can just create your time, create enough time and speak with the employees of the company, it's not about giving you inside information, no, but you want to understand their needs more. Oftentimes, most companies will give you the access that, okay, fine, since you are like a prospective contractor, right? Take your time and talk to our people so that they can give you any information that you need. Then the last one, properly source documentation. Definitely you can get this on Google, or if you have to like try and go outside and get your facts. Maybe when it comes to the commercial, you want to know price and all that. So before writing can begin, you must gather the fact. I've said that from employees, documents and reports, from consultants, etc., and from scientific studies as well. Now, Google can help you put all this together. Very important. The next slide, also from publications and books. Also, now, as for those who are new in the entrepreneurship space, or who are new in the self-employment space, I will give you this advice. Please be a reader, right? Be a reader. When I say reader, not just academic books. Try and expand the horizon. Read more, spread your tentacles. Read journals, read magazines, read extensively. At times, you never can tell when all this knowledge will help you to gather your facts when you have opportunity to present wonderful business proposals. Now, using the internet as a resource, that's the next slide, very important. A lot of us use Google. I doubt if there's anybody in this world who is a business person that does not make use of Google. Google makes it easier and cheaper for you to have access to information. That means you have access to the information that others have done, or the works that others have done and put up on the internet for you. Like now, if you want to know the price of cement, right, you can go online and check. If you want to know the rate of dollar today, euro, pounds, yen, and all that, without making any phone call, just go online and check. You get the accurate rate of FX and what have you. So internet is a cheap source of getting information. But there are certain businesses or projects that you have to be very careful with the way you use the internet. Aside, because there are some businesses that are quite volatile, right? The volatility is very, very high. That you apart from going to the internet, you still need to go out there, make some moves, go and talk to people who are stakeholders in that space so that they can give you the accurate information about that product, about that service, because so that you not shoot yourself in the leg. Very important. The next slide. Right, I've told you that the internet can be an excellent resource for gathering information if it is used properly. Very good. So you cannot deliver a winning business proposal if you do not know how to use the internet. And like I said, it's an excellent resource for gathering information if it is used properly. You need to make sure that the information you gather is reliable and credible. Now, oftentimes, a lot of people in the MSME space make some mistakes. Right? They go online, they Google, then they lift some information sheepishly, not knowing that the information that they just lifted are old information, archaic, right, obsolete. That I said, take your time to be up to date. For example, now let's say you're in the building space and somebody is asking you to submit a proposal for a project, right, to supervise this building project, and you are giving, and you want to, and part of the proposal, the commercial area, and you want to know the price of a ton of iron, and by the time you go on Google, and Google is giving you an old fact of February when a ton of iron was 205,000 per iron, not knowing that iron is now like 250, then you must have shot yourself in the leg. So you have to be, so it's not every information online that you just take or lift sheepishly. You have to be also smart and wise as well. All right, and okay. Let's go to organizing. Next slide. Next. So by importance, yes. By chronological order, by importance, by pros and cons. Okay. Let me take this. Now, information naturally must be organized by having heading and subheading. Now, within those groupings, however, there are some other ways to organize information. There are a lot of ways of organizing information. The most common choice for a proposal is from problem to solution. Please, every business owner or anyone who is writing proposals, either you are a career person, you are still working for a company, and the organization too, you are being required to write a proposal from the department or other department, or from the department to the board, understand this. It is always from problem to solution. You highlight the solution that complaint, right, is facing first before you prefer the solution, not solution before problem. I've read some proposals whereby the writer itemizes the solutions first before it dwells on the problems. So now, this means that the sub-heading section will start with the problem statement. Yes, very important. If you look at the model I gave you, there's a problem statement area too, part of the executive summary, right? Then spend several paragraphs outlining the options, making your organization's offering seem the most attractive and offer a conclusion at the end. Definitely, if you see at times, now I do tell people that for we in the minded consultancy space, at times the bitter truth is that when clients even engage us, they don't even know their problems. At times they bring us in first to help them discover their problems or to help them determine the problems. Then after we have identified the problems, we now start profiling solutions. They just know, they're just convinced that something is wrong somewhere. Let's bring in a minded consultant that will look at our process, pieces it, analyze it, do our need analysis and all that, and tell us that this is the problem. So same thing goes with anyone who wants to specialize in writing business proposal, that you must understand this fact as well of problem statement. Then also outlining why such service or why you think you or your organization should be patronized. Why do you think we should give you the job, right? The next slide. Now, some other methods include chronological order, that is most recent to oldest or vice versa, by level of detail, simplest to most complex or vice versa. But don't forget, no matter what, don't ever bring the solution before the problem. It is the problem first. Then you can also have by importance. Like if you could see in the case of the helicopter, right? The company that wanted to supply helicopters to Nigerian military, they first wrote the history of helicopter in Africa, then the local history of helicopter, that's in Nigeria, right? They now domesticated that before they now came to the overview of that particular brand of helicopter, right? So that's a very good way. Then by offering a question and then an answer. You must have heard of FAQ, frequently asked question. To an extent, is a proposal on its own, whereby people put it together in their proposal as well, whereby they ask questions themselves and they answer it. Now, they assume what the prospective client would ask. Module 6, writing skills, very important. Definitely, you must have writing skills for you to embark on this journey. The research is done, the outline is complete, and you are ready to write. Don't forget that the writing itself is at the tail end, after research has been done, after the outline is complete. So now, when you are ready to write, you hold on just a moment before you dive into your word processor, your Microsoft Word. You have to review some basic writing skills. I've seen in my time of mentoring and all that, I've seen some smart, intelligent people who have got brilliant and fantastic ideas, but you know that problem, they lack writing skills. They don't know how to put stuff together. But verbally, they can even sell a whole country verbally. But ask them to put it together, that is where the problem is. Right. Now, let's go to the next slide. Because of our time. Now, spelling and grammar, basic rules, third person, read it out aloud. This is very, very important. Now, I have to take you back to your English language class as well. Also very important for proposal writing. But the beautiful thing is that the current Microsoft Word, your word processor and all of that, they help you with grammar check and all that. But you have to also be very careful if you are using Microsoft Word. Don't forget, Microsoft Word is developed by the Americans. So there will be certain spellings that are American English, right? Or some words. So here in Nigeria, we follow the British English. So these are things that you have to be very, very careful and be sensitive to when you are using your software. So pay attention to proper spelling and grammar in general is a general good practice, and to make your editing process a lot easier. Although you don't need to be worried about perfection at this point, it is worthwhile to keep some basic spelling and grammar tips in mind. Now, in proposal, now please listen. One of the things you have to take from this webinar is that for proposal, you should never use the first person singular. I, me, she, he. No, we don't do that in proposal writing. Please use plural, we, us. Sound that it is an organization. Even if it's a one-man business, we know it's a one-man business. You are an entrepreneur, you are self-employed. Don't just sound like I, me, she, he. It is not really professional in business proposal writing. Even if you are the only one doing the job, still use the first person plural, we in the subjective case and us in the objective case. Now, the acronyms and texting slang do not belong in the proposal or in any business document for that matter. We don't, even if you have to use acronyms, start with professional acronyms, not just slangs. Now, watch for correct spellings but incorrect usage, such as there were too many ponies in the store. Right now, this is a pronoun, so which should have been T-H-E-R-E and not this. So these are common English, but like I said, the beautiful thing is that we have good softwares now that they help you to correct all these. And once you see red lines, you check your spelling, check your sentence and all that. Know what errors you commonly make so that you can make an effort to correct them. Writing well takes practice and read and write often. Like I said, to be honest with you, if you want to do very well in business, and if you want to be a business owner, you must be a reader. Because as a business owner, you're also a leader. And like I said, your business proposal, right, communicates a whole lot to the outside world. It communicates your value, it communicates your person, and all of that. Invest in at least one good grammar reference book and all that. I've given you some that which you can use. Make use of available tools such as spell check, dictionaries, your thesaurus, and all that, and people's directories. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, or as a professional who specializes in writing business proposals, or who surely wants to be writing business proposal, or who is trying to update him or herself in business proposal writing, ensure that you have a dictionary. It's very important. So I can always check up or look up some words, some new words in the dictionary, in the and other files. Note, it says spell check is a tool and not a solution. Now, if you are stuck on a sentence, try reading it out. I do this a lot of times. No, you've written something. Don't forget your Microsoft Word or what have you is only an application software. It is not human, right? It is not an English language teacher. There are some grammatical blunders that it cannot correct for you. It's not human. So try reading it out, right? At times, proofread. Give a colleague to help you review and all that. And I like to come back to it. Then always read your work. Have someone else read it too, if possible. So you can try and talk to somebody peer on peer, especially when it comes to the commercial part of a proposal, because that is very, very important. You might be very good with the grammatical part. What about the analytical part? If you know that you are not too good with financial, because there are some proposals that might require you to do a breakdown of the cost, especially when it comes to cost proposal, let somebody who is quite familiar with finance help you do all that analysis. We are running up, working with words. Proposal should be objective, yes, not subjective. It should be objective, and it should have appropriate level of detail, and the difference between comprehension, it should not be confusing, but it should be comprehensive. But most importantly, the proposal has to be objective. And then at the end of the day, when your clients reviews it, then they can decide if they are giving you the job or not. As long as you have followed the model which I've put you through and other things which are highlighted in this webinar. We are running up. Let's go to the next slide. Next slide. Okay, can we go to the next one? Next. Okay. Constructing sentence. Constructing sentence before we come to this. Now, simple, compound, complex. Yes, you can. Like I said, there's an aspect of English language in business proposal writing. We don't say because now we are in business. The only thing we talk about in business is money, finance, cost, and that. No, fine. Those are also good areas of proposal, but at the same time, you must ensure that the overall view of your proposal is very alright. Okay, the persuasive writing, you must be consistent. The next slide, consistency, social validation, right? You must be consistent with what you're writing. If you are writing about, let's say soap, for example, you want to supply soap to a particular hotel or company, ensure that you are consistent with what you're writing, so that at the end of the day, you can gain a social validation. All right, the next slide. Then mastering voice. Now, active voice, where the writer is doing something, then passive voice, where something is being done. Don't forget, your proposal carries your voice. It communicates to the outside world. When people are reading your proposal, right, apart from going through your template and saying, fine, your template is fine, it's as if they can hear your voice when they are scrutinizing your proposal. When you get the slides, you can take your time to study this and then okay. Let's go to module 8, please. Module 8.
Mr. Lowu,
Yes.
yes, we just give you just 5 more minutes, please. Whatever you can put into the 5 minutes, please.
This is the penultimate slide. Okay. The penultimate module rather. Now, it's finally time for the real purpose of our journey, writing the actual proposal. This module will look at some tools to help you write. In 2 minutes, I'm out of this module. Now, like I said, you have your statement of understanding, the benefit analysis, and the organization impact statement. All right. Then goes to the competition. I'm at module 8. Okay.
Is this the slide you want?
Module 8. Go on. Go on. Okay. You can go on. Next slide. Next slide, now. All right, next slide.
This one?
The next, okay, yes, we have this. Using illustrations. Okay, now this is good. Now, okay, this is fine. Let's. Now, the first thing, you convey your points, one major point, then include a table of figures. Now, one beautiful thing that your table of contents will do for you, like I do advise people, before you start writing your proposal, ensure that you have a rough sheet where you have your table of contents being itemized so that you don't write out of points. The next slide, module 9, checking for readability. Once your proposal is written, it's time to check it for clarity and readability. That means, is your proposal readable? This module will offer you some tools to just do that. Module 9, this is the last module. The next slide. Next one. Yes. Yeah. Are my sentences clearly constructed? Have I primarily used the third person, or you can also say the first person plural. Yeah, please. Then does each paragraph have a logical beginning, middle, and end? So you have to be convinced that you have adhered to all this. Okay, reading for the audience. The next, yes, exactly, this final. Jargon that need to be explained. Yes, you have to ask yourself, have you explained the jargons? For the benefit of our participants, jargons are like professional terms that a layman may or does not understand. That as a professional in that field, you need to explain what that particular word means. So any word that laymen do not understand is a jargon. So you might have to take your time to explain. Like I was talking about RFP, RFQ. That could be like a professional jargon in the business proposal writing. So I said RFP is request for proposal, RFQ is request for quotation. So then definitely anticipate any questions. Just like at the end of this webinar, I know there are some questions that are already been itemized. So when you submit the proposal, expect feedbacks and questions from your prospective client or customer as well. Okay, module 10, the last module, proofreading and editing. Module 10, yes, ma'am. Now, even if someone else will be editing your work, you should always proofread and edit your writing before handing it off. This way you can make sure that you said what you really meant to say. It is very, very good for you to proofread, read over and over again yourself. If you have a colleague in your company, you have a partner, hand it over to your partner to help you proofread. If the two of you or the team have jointly written the proposal, hand it over to an independent person to help you to proofread. So far, the person is confidential with your document anyway. Then proofread like a pro. Read slowly. You can also read out. Expect to find mistakes. It is normal. We are all human. You expect to find mistakes, either typographical error, grammatical blunders, or probably the way you arrange your points. That the power of peer review, like I said, if you have a partner in your business, you run an MSME together with someone, or you're in the department in a company, that's the power of peer review. Peer review together. In fact, if this will be a mandatory component of proposal writing, do not submit a business proposal to any prospective client or customer without reviewing it. Please, I beg of you. If you have written it yourself, take out time, be humble enough to give it to somebody that you trust, be it a mentor, an independent business consultant, and all that to help you to. And like I said, they will definitely find mistakes. Then adding your final touches. Add the final touches. So after all these things have been done, ensure that you add the final touches, and then you are good to go. Having done this, you can go ahead and submit. Now, listen, these days, people submit most soft copies. I'm done. I'm just trying to wrap up on this. Now, if you are submitting hard copies, some companies or some organizations might require you to submit hard copy proposal. Ensure you are using a quality proposal, simple and professional binding, right? Then if you are submitting an e-copy, excellent. Just PDF it. I've seen some people who submitted proposal in Microsoft Word format. It is absolutely wrong. Ensure you convert to PDF, except if the prospective client personally requests, which I think in most cases, why should they request your Microsoft Word format? Because you have a lot of things, you're like your letterhead and all that in Microsoft Word. So it is not professional for them to request for the Microsoft Word version. All right. So because of time,
thank you so much, Mr. Olowu. Thank you so much. I understand the limitations that you have. It's very difficult to ask certified management consultants, a chartered accountant, and a chartered project manager to speak to such a topic within 30 minutes. I also remember that you facilitated the first session of this that we had in Ekiti State, and you had the luxury of 3 days to take some undergraduates through the soft skills and the information you had to share. Thank you so much. I want to apologize to everybody that's around the call. Nothing good comes cheap. I apologize for exceeding the time, and as the program was going on, my team and I have been taking some lessons with regards to timing and how we can make these webinars and workshops more effective. While Mr. Olowu takes a cup of water, we're going to put a poll online. Kindly put your answers as fast as you can. It's just to also help us improve how the work that we do in Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation. So I'm going to launch the poll. It shouldn't take us more than a minute. They're just about 6 questions, I think. Kindly put your sincere answers and to guide us further. I'm launching right away. Please vote. Our panelists, Tommy and Edison, please confirm you can see the polling.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. We actually have, okay, 3 questions. We have 30 more seconds. Thank you so much for voting. 80% of us have voted, and I would end the polling now. So thank you very much. I'm going to start with the question and answer now. Mr. Olowu, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Let me start by thanking everyone that joined us. I think the manager of the foundation is going to talk at the end of this program and explain to us how we're going to participate or in part of the benefits. I think he's going to explain to us how 15 people will be selected to join the Wistraled Business Academy. I do understand that the information that's been shared to us with us today is a lot. And I said to myself that the slides and the presentation is just to help us answer and ask more questions and get answers to these questions. It's just to lay the foundation for what we should be doing. And a lot of the comments online allude to that. I want to thank Dr. Mrs. Irene Olumese. I don't know if she's still on the call, but she did join us from, I think she's joining us from Switzerland. She's also one of the partners and supporters of the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation. We collaborate and we have the same vision and mission. Thank you so much, Ma, for joining us. And the first question would be from her. She says, we have indigenous women living with disabilities who want to set up small-scale businesses. Is there a streamlined business proposal that is applicable to this group of people? Mr. Olowu, just give us very punchy, short responses. We're going to take all the questions. I think we have 24 of them. We will send specific and detailed responses to everyone who has raised a question. But for the general understanding of everyone around the call, just give us a short response to Mrs. Olumese's question. Indigenous women living with disabilities who want to set up small-scale businesses, is there a particular kind of business proposal applicable to this group?
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. I've even been asking some questions. I think I must have answered like 2 or 3. Okay, as regards the women living with disabilities, if there is a generic proposal, fine, we can adopt a generic proposal for them all. But I think it's also very important for us to understand what each and every one of them wants to actually do. Because they are all disabled does not mean that they have the same thing in common when it comes to business. One might be interested in making soap, while the other might be interested in making confectionaries. So we might have to understand what do they actually want to do themselves before we say, okay, this is the kind of proposal that we can do. But considering their, how do I put it now? I can say they all fall in the MSME space. In fact, micro businesses. So which a general sales proposal should be sufficient. They don't need the technical proposal. They don't need a professional proposal or a cost proposal. What they just basically need is just a sales proposal that communicates their idea or their vision to any prospective investor.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be linking you up to Dr. Mrs. Irene Olumese. Yeah, so that you can also work with her to get more detailed responses. I want to comment or reply to Lucy Agada. Lucy sent us a comment at 11:50 a.m. and she said she needs help with writing a proposal because she still doesn't understand, the presentation. It's kind of like over her head. But the good news for Lucy and any other person around this call who is in the same situation is that the promise of Wistraled admitting 15 people into the Wistraled Business Academy means that Mr. Olowu would handhold such people in doing or writing such proposals. And it wouldn't only be limited to writing business proposals. It would be guiding you and mentoring you as far as, your business aspirations or your career aspirations aspirations are. So quickly, I want to go to, there's a question that was asked at 11:49. I think somebody who is in real estate, bear with me while I pull out that question. He wanted to know, actually, Mr. Olowu, if there's a specific kind of proposal that people in real estate should be working with.
Yes, fantastic. For those in real estate is a more technical industry. And also real estate is broad. It has a long value chain. So it depends on where the point at which the person is on the value chain. So for real estate, if the person is positioned at property development point of the value chain, definitely such person will be writing more technical proposal with a twist of cost proposal. There's no way you will be involved in property development without dealing with materials, cost, building, and all that. So, but if it's just the normal realtor part of real estate agency, you might not, just sales proposal is fine. But so that I said, if the person can, I wish I could know the person one-on-one.
Okay, it's as promised, Benjamin, we're going to connect you to him. I do hope, I'm not being partial, but I do hope he ends up being one of the 15 people because he's someone I've mentored in the past. Now, quickly, Mr. Olowu, somebody says, what kind of proposal is better for a student who is trying to start a motorcycle business? We have 26 questions now, and I want to ask everyone who has asked a question to please send the question directly to rehobothDream@gmail.com. Edison and the team, everyone on the project team and myself, will work with Mr. Olowu to get you direct responses, and we'll still collate all the responses and have them available for every participant to benefit from down the road. So quickly, Mr. Olowu, because we're running out of time. Okay. What kind of proposal?
Okay, excellent. For such a student who is like a startup, I think I've even answered the question on the platform that basically what that person is a sales proposal. But if the person has a prospective investor, somebody who is interested to sponsor him or her, they might have a combination of sales and cost proposal. Definitely, you have to show what it's going to cost you to acquire the bike, do like a profit analysis and all of that, like a mini business plan. In fact, the beautiful thing about a cost proposal is that it serve as a mini business plan with you, for you rather. So you can have a blend of sales proposal and cost proposal. These two are also components of a business proposal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olowu. We have one of our trustees who joined us from Sydney, Australia, Dr. Mrs. Olayinka Opadia. She has her hand up. I think she wants to say something briefly. You have been unmuted, Ma. Please, if you can pass your comments quickly. Dr. Mrs. Opadia, you can speak, Ma.
I think your microphone is muted.
On mute. Okay, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Really, I don't have any. I just want to say on behalf of the trustees that really this is a very exciting moment, and we're very proud of everybody that's on board. I was just wondering whether anybody has a question for the trustees to ask from the foundation what they would like to see, happen, what they would like to see. Any other thing? Do you have anything? Do you even know one of the ways which the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation, how they actually actualize their goals? So, but this might just not be relevant for this audience. I just want to, I don't know whether Sister Bimbo, whether you already asked that question, because I joined.
Yeah. Late, yeah. Thank you so much, Matt. That's very relevant. And we just encourage people around the call to please send your responses or your suggestions to what Dr. Mrs. Opadia said. In what way do you think Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation can, up the game, can do better? What areas would you like us to address? Just send us a mail, rehobothDream@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Ma, for staying up. I don't know, I'm sure the time differences may not be convenient, but thank you for joining us. And
my pleasure, my pleasure.
Dr. Josh
Thank
Opadia
you so much.
Thank you so much. I have 3 more hands that are up, but I think Tommy, the project manager, would be cringing wherever she is. Tommy, do we just wrap up?
Yes, can we please wrap up, and then we'll respond individually to everybody that has a question and make questions available for everybody else as well.
Okay. On behalf of the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Admiral Dende Joseph, and the other trustees. Mr. Peter Olowu, I want to say a very big thank you to you. You have been supporting the vision of Rehoboth Dream in the past. You have taught our mentees in Ekiti State. You have gone with us to, I think, Owerri or Benin, and you have not billed us commercial rates. We are not unmindful of your support to the vision of this foundation. Thank you so much for accepting to take on 15 mentees whose lives I know will change for the better, because you're going to handhold them to get to their career and business aspirations. Thank you so much to everyone on the project team. Thank you, Tommy, Edison, Grace, Tina. Thank you for the volunteers that are also around the call. I may not be able to call everybody, but we have volunteers around the call. Thank you so much. The floor is open for Edison to explain briefly in further details, to give further details on how the 15 people will be selected and the winners of the two financial support to the 2 people who will win. Thank you so much, everyone. Edison.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us around the call today. Quickly, for you to benefit, to be among the 15 persons that will be benefiting from this opportunity, there are a few things you need to do. The first thing is that you must have attended the webinar, which is what you must have done now, or you have watched it maybe because you didn't have time. But you must also attend the respond to the post-event survey. A post-event survey will be sent to you, our email addresses. Then you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This video will also be posted on our YouTube channel, so please take note. And this video and the slide will also be sent to you via your email addresses. And you have to submit this proposal before the 1st of October, which is next week. So you have about 7 days to put your business proposal together and follow the guide that has been given to you and submit. So two local persons will be getting 100,000 naira grant, and then 15 will be unpicked, will be taken over by the Wistrale Academy, will be mentored by the Wistrale Academy. Now, it's also interesting to know that at Rehoboth, we have this platform on WhatsApp where you can join us and get information firsthand. So please, if you think that you can benefit from this, please just send us a direct message via our social media platform, and then we'll get in touch with you. You can also go to our website to download Thinking Aloud magazine. That magazine, it's enriched with a whole lot of benefits. So please go there to our website, www.RehobothDreamSolidFoundation.org, www.RehobothDreamSolidFoundation.org. You also see that in the mails that will be sent to you, and download the Thinking Aloud magazine. Finally, I would like to say a big thank you to everybody that has supported the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation, our partners, our sponsors, our volunteers. Thank you, everyone, for being part of the success story of Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation. Please watch out for the next the Q4 edition of this webinar, will be coming your way in the next 3 months or so. Thank you so much, and all have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Edison. Thank you, Mr. Olowu. Thank you, Dr. Mrs. Olumese. Thank you, Dr. Mrs. Opadia. Thank you, Admiral Komolafe. Thank you to Mr. Chairman of the Board of Trustees. I don't know if he was able to eventually join, but he's leading us so well. Thank you to everyone around the call.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.